So apparently there's this business of insurance adjuster that is trying to get people as much money from insurances as possible, but let's be real, I don't know if that's gonna help.
The Los Angeles fires are still burning, but homeowners are already rushing to file insurance claims.
Standing on a wreckage like this, I'm just sort of like piecing together room by room how much is each room gonna be. I see here is a master bathroom. That's gonna be probably 25, 30,000.
No, it's not. It's probably gonna be way more than that, but that's what he's trying to what he's trying to say is that's probably as much as the insurance company's gonna be willing to budge. But building this is probably gonna be more, especially in LA.
Ansi Viljanin is a public insurance adjuster. He negotiates claims with private insurance companies on behalf of the policyholder. Today, he's starting to calculate the scale of the loss line item by line item.
This would be a living room. This wall right here, did we have drywall or did we have plaster? So if it's plaster throughout the whole house, again, it's a lot easier to rack up the estimate. We have a kitchen here. It's almost like a treasure hunt of trying to find the most expensive bits and pieces.
Public adjusters try to get their clients more money from insurance companies, and they take a percentage of the payout.
A lot of people think that it's burnt down. It says $1 million on my policy. Now I'm going to get $1 million. Unfortunately, not how it's going to work.
My question is, what do these guys do in order to squeeze more money out of insurance companies? Because one thing is to just simply calculate what you think the value of the property is, and something different is to actually go through and force the insurance company to actually pay that money out. And my question is, how do they do that? How exactly do they force those companies to pay out? Is it through is it like do they fill out paperwork, say estimate the value of the house, give that to the insurance company, and if the insurance company doesn't pay it out, do they sue? Is that how it works?
We had one where a house was burned down to the slab. It's insured for 1.9 million. And then the carrier comes in and says, well, here's 600,000. That's really where the public adjuster then comes in and points out those bits and pieces that are missing. What we're seeing right now is as bad as it gets. It's probably gonna be 2 years before we can even break ground.
Oh shoot, I just realized. And that's not even taking into account the fact that the entire city is destroyed, meaning that the construction companies are going to be are pretty much going to be bidding on on the most expensive projects. So if making that restroom or like that master bathroom was $30,000 before, now with the sheer amount of volume of construction projects, it might balloon to over 100,000.
This house is one of at least 7,000 structures in the neighborhood of Altadena destroyed by the Eaton fire.
Good morning.
Since the fires, Viljanin says he's been working nonstop. Every morning he gathers with his team to discuss the latest updates.
A lot of times the question is like, okay, well, if you guys maximize our claim, does that mean that our premiums are going to go even higher? And the reality of it is, everybody's rates are going to go up regardless.
And
You know, ignoring the fact that this guy is making absolute bank just like this into this by this season, because of what happened, he's making absolute bank. Ignoring that fact, there must be um a certain level of emotional pain going on behind the amount of money you're receiving if you're working in this sort of industry. Because yes, you're earning money, but it's through the pain of other people. Then again, if you don't have that money, someone else is gonna keep it, and it's better to squeeze as much as possible from insurance companies.
And share tips for filing claims.
I think we're gonna meet this a lot with any of the fires. The moment a concrete is heated past a certain point, it does disseminate the heat to everything underneath it. So that slab does need to go.
Oh, yeah. All right.
Wait a second. I just realized everything in that region of LA, everything on the surface got destroyed. But odds are everything underneath also got damaged. So is it even can a single house even be repaired? I feel like with the sheer amount of damage, they would need to rebuild the entire infrastructure from below ground to everything. You know, this includes the pipelines that take sewage and water, or even the cable, so it's the cables of electricity and stuff like that. Everything's gonna need to be repaired. So I don't think a single person can or will be able to fix their own home.
Taking on these claims is particularly important for Viljanin. He and his family also had to evacuate because of the fires.
That's what we grabbed. I got our baby box over there. That's a family heirloom. We didn't know where we might go, so we got a tent over there.
Access to the affected areas is still heavily restricted, but some residents are trickling back into the neighborhoods to see if their homes are still standing. Viljanin went with one of his clients to inspect the damage.
I can't believe it's here. See you, man. It's so amazing that you're still here. Yeah, unfortunate.
You know, as I pointed out before, his house is still standing, but what are the odds that it's still livable? Do you think they still have water, electricity? I don't know. Anything essential? I mean, even clean air. It's even if the house is still standing, odds are they won't be able to go back to live there. The infrastructure's not there. The air is probably toxic. Well, it's probably livable, but still toxic. The house itself is damaged. Like even if it's still intact, it is gonna be damaged in some areas. So I don't know, like those people that whose homes are still standing, I don't know what to say. Like, are they actually going to attempt to live there without any necessities?
There's 1, 2, 3, and then 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of us here. And this is the only house that survived.
Talk about a close call. Embers.
What is this?
Embers.
That?
Stain marks?
Well, finding your home still standing is a huge relief. These claims, where the damage is primarily from smoke, pose a particular challenge.
This is going to be one of the more technical insurance fights. If it was up to us, yeah, I could hash this out in an afternoon. The insurance world, that's not how long it takes. The last dollar will not be paid for at least another year and a half.
Okay, see what I mean? A year and a half? So where are these people going? Not only that, once once they can finally move back to their property, once they have the repairs and everything, are they going to move back? Because let's just round it up. In 2 years, you can make a new life somewhere else. Then there's no incentive to go back to your previous life because you already have a life somewhere else. So, are we just gonna see a mass exodus of LA?
Especially on these partially damaged houses. for Jorge's family, obviously the most important thing is to now just be in housing. The reality of it is, you're homeless, but you're still paying mortgage. And you're hoping that your additional living expenses coverage from your insurance policy still has enough money. And it's going to be really, really hard for people to have staying power to come to the point where you're able to reconstruct.
The cost of insured benefits could reach $30 billion, according to one estimate from Morningstar DBRS.
It better reach at least $30 billion because insurance companies can't just ditch these people. And I'm willing to bet that that $30 billion it's a low ball.
It's putting pressure on an already strained system. Before the fires, some private insurers cut coverage for thousands of people in wildfire-prone areas. New regulations will prevent insurers from abandoning these neighborhoods completely, but they will also allow companies to raise rates.
And leave the state.
The president of the Personal Insurance Federation of California, an industry trade group, told the Journal that rates will probably go up, but the new regulations should stabilize premiums.
Like 10 years from now, is this whole valley going to be built? Who knows? So there's a real possibility where maybe this guy builds, this one doesn't, that one doesn't. We, as public adjusters, we're wanting to have the conversation. How are we going to exit out of this situation? Are we going to sit tight? Are we going to move out of state? Do we need to sell perhaps to a developer? Do we try to weather the storm, keep paying mortgage, hold on to the construction money for 2 or 3 years, and then rebuild after we've gone through the whole hassle of getting that money in the first place?
I'm gonna be real. I don't think that region of LA is gonna rebuild. If anything, I think most people are gonna move. They might move to another region of LA, or they might move to a completely different place, maybe out of state even. But I don't think those people are gonna wait and try to rebuild a life that was completely burned to the ground. I just don't think it's gonna be worth it, especially if they still have to pay a mortgage for a house that doesn't exist. I'm willing to bet that most people are just gonna sell their property. And I'm willing to bet even higher that there's already someone waiting to buy all of that property.